I started writing songs in a time where like everything on the radio was all about love, and people were like, why are you singing about your head? Why are you singing about politics? Why are you singing about like that? People on the radio don't want to hear about that. And I think it was kind of crazy because all my friends were talking about it. It was like the dawn of a new time where young people were like, yo, I ain't alright, or yo, I want to change my gender, or yo, I'm tired of hiding my sexuality, or I'm tired of hiding what is going on inside my head because you don't want to talk about it. And then social media became a thing where people could speak so openly and everyone had a platform. And I could feel that, even though like it's so funny, everyone is always one step behind in art, you know what I mean? There's like a movement happening and everyone's like, nah, that's not gonna happen, then it comes out of nowhere, even though it's been bubbling for literally years. And I feel like that at the start, all I wanted to do was be like, yo, I don't like myself, I second guess everything I say, I wake up every morning like there's a knot in my stomach, I feel completely depressed, I don't want to get out of bed. What the fuck can I do about it? And I literally like had 8,000 followers on Instagram. You know what I mean? It was mostly my mates or whatever. And I just started saying this into a phone. Because I was like, this is helping me. It was more for me than anyone else, you know what I mean? Because I was like, I just wanted to connect to someone. I was told to not express myself like that. And all of a sudden I had this thing, which was a phone, that I could look down a camera and it wouldn't talk back, and I could almost like video log it, and I started posting it. And we were on our first tour across Europe, and no one really knew who we were because it was just like no one gave a fuck, you know what I mean? But I remember I started to do that, and I remember being like freaking out to like, oh my god, 200 people saw my story, what the fuck? Whoa, you know what I mean? I was like, that's crazy. When you kind of disconnect and go and kind of go like, oh, like you're a person there, I'm a person. This screen thing feels like we're so kind of like not real, or a computer game, but it's like, no, we have heartbeats, we sweat, I was like, wow, 200 heartbeats have just seen that. So I kept doing more, and I kept doing more, and I kept going deeper, and then I started like talking to young people in the line about issues they felt in politics and issues they felt in their head. And I remember it going from 200 to 1,000 to 10,000 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 to nearly about 500,000 a day now on our stories. That I was like, it all you got to do is tell the truth. And I think the only reason, the biggest reason why I built Yungblud, because there was nowhere for me to go, and there was nowhere for me to go to find friends to go like, oh, I feel like this, I feel like scared. And I always would look into my phone, and if anyone's watching this now, I'll be like, find this community of Yungblud, because Yungblud isn't me. I'm just like, hello, I'm the person on the fucking CD cover, but like it's more than music. It's like music is like kind of 30% of it. 70% of Yungblud is a movement and a mindset, being like, I don't want to face this alone. And it's a hub for you to come to, be like, I'm going through this. And then chances are someone in the comment section will be like, yo, I feel that too. And I felt like I was alone like that. And it just became this massive ecosystem of that, more so than the music, I think. You know what I mean?
You know, one of the things that you said there that I feel like really resonates is you're talking about the idea of hating yourself. And I think most people feel that when you hate yourself, it's the content. So you think negative things about yourself, which is true for many people. But it also is what you're talking about, is that when you hate yourself, every single part of your experience is something that, like you said, gets second guessed. Because you don't just accept it as, excuse me, this is good as it is. You know, so you second guess it, you hide it, you suppress it, you avoid it. And at some point, you stop even thinking about, well, I'm going to share what's real, because there's so many places along the way where what you really feel is just not going to get expressed, that sometimes people even numb themselves out to begin with. And I feel like you're really talking about just how insidious self-hate can be in that process way.
100%. And the thing about it is like, it's not your fault. You know what I mean? You're not. It's such a crazy thing. There's nothing more frightening than your own head. You know what I'm saying? I think like that's just the way it is, and I think I always say it to a lot of people, it's like, it's not your fault, you are not weird, you are not strange, do not have a malfunction, you do not have something wrong with you. It's a completely natural thing that if it is suppressed and if it's taught to be suppressed, that's when it becomes like dark and dangerous. It's like at the end of the day, like all of us feel sadness, all of us feel pain, all of us feel thing. It means you're working. That's what I say. It means your body's working, you're feeling something. And some of us feel like we feel nothing, but I believe if you really reach deep down inside yourself, if you feel like that, I always ground myself, you know what I mean? I literally just like go touch a fucking table, or like go get a coffee and smell it, or go put my feet in some fucking grass. And like little things like that really sort my head out. If you can kind of just be like, what do I literally need to survive? I think that's kind of, it makes you feel like it makes you feel just like inside your head, and that fucking helps me a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it starts with that thing that you said, which I think is so important, because the only unique and original thing we have to offer the world is us. And the more we're in touch with all of our nooks and crannies, all of our places that are uncomfortable and dark and confused, the more that we have the potential to connect with other people. Because listen, it's not that if somebody never feels anything badly, I feel like that's great for them, but for me that's not really as helpful, quite frankly. Like I kind of need people who understand what it is to be in the darkness. And so I think what you're talking about to some degree is that when you feel like all these things that you're feeling is the thing that's going to disconnect you from people, that pivot to say, listen, yeah, you always have to, I guess, think about, all right, who do I share what with? Maybe, you have to, I guess, be tactical about it. But that fundamental first pivot, that's the good stuff. That's the stuff that makes you unique. That's the stuff that's actually going to help you connect to yourself and others.
100%.
That's a whole different world now.
100%. That each and every single one of us is unique and completely individual. But if you shut off a side of yourself that might not necessarily be attractive by society's means, then you're shutting off a part of yourself. You're shutting off a part of yourself that is completely unique, or could be completely unique. It's like people are going to love you in work, people are not going to like you in work, but that is not on you. You can't control that. I feel like the one thing you can control is your own health and your own head and your own thing, and you got to protect that. You got to protect that dearly, and I think that's when people really kind of can feel that from you, that when you're secure in yourself, like, and you know you can try and like protect your surroundings a little bit. Things will affect you less. But it was fucking hard, man. Like, I'm 26 now, and 27's around the corner, which is so funny for a fucking musician, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like since I've been doing this since I was 17, and really battling since I was 17. Like, me and my best mate, my guitar player Adam, we have never had it. It's been really fucking hard to kind of get where we are, and we kind of come out of it on the other side. But like, it's always been about mental health. Like, we've always been like fucking dark as fuck, you know what I mean? But like, always about positivity and love and getting through it and finding a community to fight together, instead of being like, I feel completely isolated and have to deal with this on my own, because you don't. There's always help out there. It's always literally just like, if you can just bring yourself to literally type in on a comment section or a thing, I am struggling, I need help. I'm telling you, I have a real big faith in humanity, even though the world's pretty fucked right now. I know that if you write something down, be like, hello, my name is this, I struggle with this, I bet you people respond to you.